Now, you've probably noticed my deliberate mistake of titling the video Windows and opening up the list that I wrote for Windows, that one, and then doing doors. But fuck it, you know, it'd be boring if we did it the same way. You've probably noticed that doors are going to be the same as Windows. I think, hold on 1 second, I just need to make sure that's working. Yeah, okay. Right, so now we're going to do some Windows. Let's get this one in here, shall we? So we go to our schedule. Excuse me. Ground floor, zoom in, holding control on the keyboard and mouse. If you don't hold control on the keyboard and use the mouse wheel, it scrolls up and down. Holding the control changes the control of that to zoom. I hope I'm not treating you like you're a fucking idiot, but in case you didn't know, it's the CTRL. I know you ain't touched one of these for years, anyway, forgive me if that is granny sucking eggs. Right, so W1, we know W01. Down to our schedule, W01 is 182.872.2105, and because it's a window, we've got a seal height of 1233. I'll tell you now, it's not completely uncommon for me to fuck this up a little bit, so sometimes the seal heights will be a little bit incorrect, but most of the time we can resolve that. I will try and be better, but you know, I try not to make promises that I can't keep. So 582.872.2105, as before, go into the photos and have a look at what the window is. So we're doing this little one next to the door, okay? So that's just a single plane window. So back into Revit, Architecture tab, click on Window. We've already got a single plane loaded, so we don't need to go to the load family. So we edit its type and then we duplicate it. And then we need to go and find out what the dimensions were, because I can never remember. 582 by 872. 582 by 872. 582. Okay. Dimensions rough. 582 by 872. Was it 872? Yep, 872. Click OK. Got the little no entry sign thing until you put it somewhere. Again, I try and keep it away from the line so it lets me align it properly. Another thing I'll show you is that sometimes you'll get an error. So we'll click this in here. No, it didn't give me the error that I wanted. Sometimes you get an error. No, it doesn't want it. Sometimes you get an error that says it conflicts with wall. Doesn't matter. You can ignore that. Now, obviously, we can do this two ways. We can type AL on our keyboard to get to the align tool, which you can also do up there. And we click that line and then that line, and it's aligned. Or we can click on it, get our temporary dimensions, make sure they're referencing the right lines, click on our temporary dimension and set it to 0 because we can see it's 0 there. Press enter, boom, that's in the right place. Right, notice that this is saying 91, but that's 90. All of the temporary dimensions, or certainly all of our permanent dimensions, are set to round up by 5 or 10, I can't remember. Right, sorry, I digress because we haven't finished with the window. The next most important part is to set the sill height. Now you can't do that from within the dialog box where you set the height and the width, so you have to do this afterwards. Click on the window so that it's highlighted, go over here, and this is where our sill height is. Simply click in the box and type in the number, which in this case is 1233. 1233. Okay, and that should be okay. We want to go and have a quick look, so we go up to our default 3D view, have a look. Now that is not quite right because we can see for our photographs, wherever they are, that the door is perfectly in line with the window. So we go back into Revit. There's two ways of doing this. We can use our align tool. Sometimes doesn't work in 3D view very well, so you'd have to go here to your front elevation, zoom in, AL to get your align tool, click the top of the window, the top of the door, then the window, and that would be fine. Control Z, Control Z, oh sorry, Control Z just to undo that to where we were, come out of our front elevation, this is where we were. The other way is if we click on the door, we can see from here that its head height is 2047. You can also calculate that if you want. Yeah, and it'll do the same thing. That's absolutely fine. The fact that we've changed its sill level doesn't really matter because, well, I mean, it just doesn't. We have so many variances when we're surveying, you know, how thick's the plaster? Is it a drywall? If it's a drywall, how thick's the timber underneath? Is it 50? Is it 100? You know, we just don't know. Particularly sill heights, you know, they're affected by the floor finishes, if there's a carpet, if there's floorboard, tiles, etc, etc, etc. Bathrooms can often throw us out because they're tiled, sometimes tiled over, you know, so you might have 2 or 3 thicknesses, who knows. So we can't always rely on the dimensions being absolutely correct, but what we're trying to get to is as near as damn it. Okay, so come out of our 3D view, here we are. Let's try another window. Go back to our photos, we'll see this photo. Oh yeah, let's do that because I didn't show you how to load a new window. So let's do this other front window here. So open this photo. You will learn these different things, but this is called a triple something or other with a vent. Back into Revit, get our window tool, and we'll go to load family, scroll down to our windows, into our window. There's no external internal bollocks, obviously you don't have internal windows. Triple, and again you get your little picture. I'm using the arrow keys on the keyboard. There we go, triple casement top hung centre. So we've got 2 large windows on the outside, 1 smaller one in the middle, and an opening vent. Top hung centre. That's what we had, wasn't it? Back to the photos. Yes, it is. Okay, so we click open for that. Now you can place it in the drawing now, or you can edit the type of it now. I sometimes find it easier to just place it so I can work out what's going on. So when you're placing windows, make sure you're getting the actual glazing part of the window on the outside skin of the wall, not on the inside. So there's the outside skin, like that. Lots of escape to get out of it. Click it once again to go back into it, and then edit its type and duplicate it. Go back into our, right, I'm using Alt and Tab to bring up this window that cycles through all the windows that I've got open. It's a quick way to swap your windows. Going back into the schedule to find out what number it is, it's W03. W03 is 2259 by 1479. back into Revit. 2259 by 1479. Click OK or press enter. Scroll down to your dimensions in your rough width 2259, rough height 1479. Click OK. Got a dimension, temporary dimension selected. We can see that it's aligned to the edge of our window and aligned to the edge of our wall. It's bold there, so we know it's 0. Click into our temporary dimension, 0, enter, and that should be aligned there. Oh, lots of escape. Select the window, see the sill height is 1200. Back to our schedule. Oh, it was window 3, wasn't it? And the sill height is 957. So we're going to go back into Revit. We've got our window selected, and we go into the sill height, type in 957 and hit return. If we go back into our 3D view, we should see that our building is beginning to vaguely look like it. Now, one thing I'm looking at here is seeing, right, we referenced the height of the windows, this window and the door. We knew that was straight, so we adjusted the window height. We can see that this height, this window starts round about the middle of the door, and it goes higher than the opening of the door. It's only to just give yourself a quick sort of reference to make sure that you're roughly in the right place. And there we've got it middle of the door sort of, and going a bit further than the door. And that is our how to fit windows. Obviously you go and repeat and repeat and repeat. Boom.